My partner and I have been together for 10 years now, a whole decade of ups and downs, of surviving and slowly learning how to thrive. We started dating way back in 2015. We were both just 19 then, young, broke, and still figuring out what life was supposed to be. At the time, we were earning around 16,000 to 18,000 a month, and yes, that's before taxes. We were barely making it through. Our top priority? Giving back to our families. Budgeting? We didn't really know how. All we knew was just survive this month, then survive the next. We rarely went on dates, and when we did, even fast food felt like a luxury. We never stepped into fancy restaurants. We didn't even consider it. Instead, we found joy in the little things. We'd go window shopping in malls, walk around the city with empty pockets, and talk about our dreams, the someday stuff. Someday, we'll have a gaming console. Someday, we'll buy new phones. Someday, we'll live in a place we can call our own. Someday, we'll be free from just surviving. And you know what? Those some days kept us going. We worked hard, really hard. We took on part-time jobs, freelance gigs, anything that could help us save a little more. While our peers were going out, partying, traveling, we stayed behind. Every single peso counted. Even during work breaks, we wouldn't eat. We'd just sit and talk with our coworkers, acting normal. But when hunger got too loud, we'd pool our 7-Eleven rewards points just to buy a single cup of noodles and share it between the two of us. It wasn't glamorous, but we had each other, and that made it enough.
4 years passed. Slowly, things began to change. We weren't rich, not even close, but we were a little more stable. We could finally afford to eat out every now and then. Mostly fast food, but even that felt like a luxury. I still remember how awkward it felt sitting inside a proper restaurant. We didn't know what to order. We felt shy, out of place, like we didn't belong. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was a mindset, a survival mode we hadn't shaken off yet. We were so used to holding back that even when we could enjoy things, we didn't always let ourselves. But it wasn't just the finances that wore us down. Work life was another kind of battle. There were stretches where we felt like robots. Wake up, commute, work, commute, sleep, repeat. Every day was a grind, not because we were ungrateful, but because we were running on fumes. We were doing our best to build a future, but the road felt endless. We had our share of tough jobs, night shifts that left us drained, day jobs that demanded more than we had left to give. Sometimes we'd come home and fall asleep without changing clothes, without eating, barely speaking, just exhausted. I remember mornings when we had to run after the bus or squeeze into a packed FX just to make it to work on time. We'd fall in line for hours at jeepney terminals after a long day, tired, hungry, hoping we'd still catch a ride. We even stood for hours in the rain, waiting for a tricycle. No umbrellas, no complaints. Just, that was life. And at work, there were moments when our bosses would rant at us, and we'd just sit there, silent. Not because we didn't care, but because we had nothing left to say. Our energy was already used up trying to fix problems all day. We also got laid off, more than once. And that feeling of suddenly not knowing what's next, it leaves a scar. When we were younger, some recruiters didn't take us seriously. They'd doubt our experience, lowball our salary expectations, or brush us off entirely. Back then, you had to commute all the way to their office for one shot. Now it's just a Zoom call. But still, we showed up, every single time. Even when we were tired. Even when we felt underestimated. Because deep down, we believed something better was coming. And eventually, it did. We found a company that finally saw our worth. One that treated people with respect. One that reminded us we weren't just working to survive. We could build a life and be human too. Then came our biggest test, one that nearly broke us. my partner was diagnosed with nasopharyngeal cancer. The first biopsy came back malignant. I can't even describe what that moment felt like. It was like the world stopped, like being drenched in cold water and unable to breathe. We were just starting to build our future. We'd barely made it past the hardest parts. And now, this? Why him? That was the question I couldn't stop asking. But we didn't give up. We got a second opinion. We prayed, hard. Every night I begged God, please, don't let it be cancer. Each day I watched him fade, quieter, thinner, more distant. The weight of uncertainty was crushing both of us, but I held on to hope. And one day, the second biopsy result came. Negative. It wasn't cancer. We cried. We laughed. We held each other for what felt like forever. That was the moment everything changed. He slowly got back to a healthy weight. His smile, that beautiful, comforting smile, came back. And so did our hope. Fast forward to now. We're in a place we never thought we'd reach. We can eat anywhere we want, whenever we feel like it. No hesitation, no guilt. We don't have to check our 7-Eleven points anymore. We buy things we once only dreamed of. Consoles, games, collectibles. We permit ourselves to enjoy, to live. My partner bought his first house, a real home, and not just for us. He turned it into apartments so he could earn extra income while we work in the city. He also bought his first car. I remember meeting the seller and thinking, this can't be real. We were holding that kind of money, our money. On the day we picked up the car, we were all smiles. Proud doesn't even begin to cover how I felt, because that wasn't just his win. It was ours. Since then, we've gone on road trips, just the two of us, to beaches, to provinces we used to only see in pictures. Sometimes we laugh remembering the times we used to run to catch a bus or fall in line for hours at jeepney terminals just to get home. We remember standing in the rain waiting for a tricycle, waking up early to beat the morning rush, fighting exhaustion just to make it to work on time. And now we ride in our own car. Together. We've been working for 10 years. When we look back, we can hardly believe it. No, we're not at the top, but we're no longer at the bottom. We're not just surviving anymore. We're thriving. Today we live peacefully, far from the chaos of the city. We have our own space. Our dogs, our cats, our little family. We've started investing in property, the kind we once thought was way out of our reach. Sometimes we sit outside and just be still. We talk. We laugh. Sometimes we cry, because we know what it took to get here. We remember that single cup of noodles. We remember the cancer scare. We remember the struggle and the love that never left. Now, we share a life built on sacrifices, second chances, and unwavering faith in each other. And to anyone out there going through a hard time, I see you. I know it's not easy. I know how it feels when you think things will never change. When every day feels like you're barely keeping your head above water. But if there's one thing I hope you take from our story, it's this. Don't give up. Even when you're tired. Even when no one seems to notice your efforts. Even when you feel like the world is moving on without you. Keep showing up. Take small steps. Surround yourself with love. Even if it's just one person who believes in you. Because someday, maybe not today, maybe not next month, but someday, you'll look back and realize you made it, you got through, and you'll be so proud you never gave up. If this story resonated with you, feel free to share your journey in the comments. Whether you're in the middle of your survival era or slowly stepping into your thriving chapter, just know, you are not alone. Every echo of your story matters.